Welcome to episode 10. Today we're going to talk about an issue that I touched upon in episode 8 but didn't quite do it justice. So today we're going to dedicate an entire episode to it. Let's talk about cross-cultural relationships, quite specifically when one partner is white and the other is Asian. A lot of people do wonder how you bridge the cultural divide when you have two partners from very different cultures in a relationship together. Such cross-cultural relationships are becoming increasingly common today. So in this episode, I shall explain to you how this cultural gap is dealt with in such relationships. Actually, there are 4 ways. This is the most common method. Most Asians who were brought up in the West, as well as in some places like Singapore or Malaysia, can have a very westernized cultural identity. Often, they do not speak their Asian mother tongues as a first language. For the white partner in the relationship, he or she is dating someone who may look Asian on the outside, but is effectively white on the inside, like a banana. In such cases, there is virtually no cultural gap in the first place because the Asian partner was probably already very westernized before the relationship even began. I hear you ask. But what about Asians who are not already westernized getting into a relationship with a white person? Well, 2 things can happen. The Asian either has to reach over the cultural divide by learning about the partner's culture and language. Not an easy task to start from scratch, but hey, it can be done with enough determination and hard work. Or one of these other methods could be employed. "20 or 30 years ago, this would have been virtually unheard of, but increasingly, there are white people who are fascinated with Asian culture and they become totally fluent in Asian languages. They spend a lot of time working in Asia and often find love from the culture or country they are so fascinated with. Let me give you one such example I do know. My Scottish friend Susan was fascinated with Chinese culture since she was a little girl, and she studied Chinese at university. After she graduated, she spent time in China working as an English teacher. Susan wanted to experience all things Chinese, so in the evenings and weekends, she attended Kung Fu classes where she fell in love with her instructor, Waeyang. Now, as a martial arts instructor, Waeyang spoke virtually no English, but it wasn't a problem at all for Susan, as she was totally fluent in Mandarin. The 2 of them fell in love, got married, and Susan became pregnant. They decided that the baby would probably have a better future in Britain than in China, so the 2 of them moved to Britain. Today, Waeyang still works as a martial arts instructor, and now he speaks a little English, but when the 2 of them are speaking to each other, they always default to Mandarin, as Susan's Mandarin is a lot better than Waeyang's English. Admittedly, you tend to see couples like Susan and Waeyang in Asia rather than in the West, but they do exist. Let's stay with Susan and Waeyang for now. Initially, it was Susan who did all the hard work to bridge the cultural and linguistic divide. But Waeyang's English has actually improved a lot since he's moved to England, so he's making a real effort as well. So in fact, both parties are making a genuine effort to bridge the gap. Bridging the gap means a lot more than learning your partner's language. It means learning about your partner's culture, making a real effort with the in-laws, and it's a whole range of different things. Now, this may sound puzzling, but it does exist. Let me tell you about an English friend of mine. Let's call him John. He has a, dare I say the words, mail order bride. Yeah, well, John is rich and a successful lawyer, And he told me that he specifically did not want an English wife. He said English women were too well educated. They wanted a say in the relationship. They wanted to be treated as equals. They were too bossy, too opinionated, too independent, and they wanted respect. I know, that guy is some piece of work, yeah. He's a real male chauvinist pig. And yes, I'm picking my words mildly. So he got himself a mail order bride from China, and she can barely speak English, and he likes it that way. If she can't speak English, then she can't pick a fight with him, and she just does everything he says. John obviously doesn't speak a word of Mandarin, not even gonna try. But who am I to tell John or his wife that there's something fundamentally wrong with their marriage? They're both very happy in their relationship. She's living in a big house with servants. She's got a lot of money. She's got all these beautiful clothes. She doesn't need to work. She's not complaining. He's not complaining. They're both very happy. So who am I to judge them? I also know of this gay couple. One guy's from Brazil and the other's from Japan. Neither of them speak each other's language. They communicate in English despite neither of them being fluent in English. Whom am I to say to them, you must learn each other's language? No, they seem to understand each other perfectly fine, despite the obvious language barrier. And I think it does help that they both work in the same industry, so they have plenty in common in their professional lives, despite coming from different countries. So there you go, those are 4 ways the cultural gap can be dealt with in a cross-cultural relationship. Now, can I actually say which method works the best? No, actually, I can't. It's far too complex. Of course, cultural and linguistic factors do impact on the quality of the communication within a relationship. But really, that's just one of so many different factors within a relationship. And I have seen people who've married someone from the same country, from the same hometown, from the same culture. They speak the same language. Their parents all speak the same language. And they still end up bickering, fighting, being trapped in miserable marriages because, they already have kids, they can't get divorced. Or they end up getting a bitter divorce anyway. So guess what? Speaking the same language, being from the same culture, same country, does not guarantee happiness and success in a relationship. So there you go, that's it from me for this episode on this issue. If you have any comments, if you have anything to say about the issue, please leave a comment below, check out my blog, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, I hope you like the shiny shirt look. Yeah, I could have worn a t-shirt, but hey, why not? So, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.